Hey everyone, you're live with Necee. I am your host, Opal Bailey, and today we are actually live. So I am here in the sunny Florida in Merritt Island, speaking to you live on the radio. I'm so excited for this opportunity to do that because I always look to and encourage myself and to move forward in new things. And sometimes change don't always feel good, but you know what? You got to go with the flow. So I just want to welcome you this morning and to encourage you and strengthen your heart as you're facing this day, this week, the rest of the month. I don't know about you, but to me, it seems like time is just flying by. You know, we seem like we never have time to do all the things that we plan to do in the given allotted time and space that we have. But you know what? It's all good. Today, I want to talk to you and encourage your heart on not looking back. There are a lot of things in our life that we look back on. There are a lot of things that we think about our past, the mistakes we've made, if we made the right choice, if we made the right decision, what ifs? What about this? What about that? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? You know, we have a lot of what ifs. What if I stayed home instead of getting a job outside the home? What if I didn't move to here and stayed there? What if I still was married and didn't get divorced? Each and every one of us encounter the what ifs. But today, we're going to move from the what ifs to the what now. That's what really matters, is what you're doing now. It's not about what ifs. And I'm going to share with you on the damage of what ifs, because really what you're saying to yourself is that I want to stay back in my past. I want to stay focused on what was instead of encountering the brand new path of what now. A lot of us, if not all of us, and most of us do feel that way. We could be in a new relationship and yet we could think, what if I stayed in that county and we stayed married? Oh, well, what if I didn't give up this job for this person and we're in a new relationship? And when you're dealing with the what ifs, it only keeps you right where you are. The what ifs is designed to keep you stuck, to keep you from not moving forward. That is its purpose. That is the main purpose of what ifs. Is to keep you locked in, unmovable into your future. And for an example, so you can kind of get a good picture of what I'm talking about, let's talk about this young lady who did just that. And she stayed stuck in her past. And some of you may know her. Some of you may have heard of her. But she did such a past act to where she went down in history as an example to us to not look back. And you may already know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to talk about Lot's wife. Think about it. Lot and his wife and his family, they was in Sodom, and it was like a really bad place. You know, those people there didn't care about God. They didn't think about God. They worship all other kind of gods. They did unthinkable things. And God sent Abraham and said, hey, go get your brother, get his family, bring them out of there, because I'm going to put you guys in the most beautiful place. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to expand you. I'm going to increase you. You're going to have such a wonderful life you can never imagine. Go get your brother. So Abraham did what he said. God said, he went and got him. And the very thing that God said when he drew them out of Sodom and Gomorrah was, when I'm bringing you out of your past, of your failures, of your mistakes, of your pain, of all the things that you might have done to other people, all the things that people may have done to you, all the bad relationships, all the bad marriages, all whatever failed careers, lost homes, lost jobs. When I'm bringing you out, don't look back. Now here, God is preparing not only Abraham's family for abundance, but Lot's family as well. God loved his brother so much that he didn't want his brother to stay up in that place. And God said, go get him, bring him out. And so Abraham, he did it. He brought him out. They're all on their way out. And God tells him, don't look back, because what's ahead of you is way better than what you've been in or what you even going to lose or you're going to walk away from. Doesn't that seem like most of us, or don't we seem to feel like that at times, where we always got to look back and think that back then was better? How in the world do we even think about stuff like that? How do we think that having lost and pain and hurt and being unloved or being whatever your situation was, how do we even fathom to think that that's better than what's ahead? So in the process of them walking, I'm sure it was a long walk. It wasn't an easy walk. It wasn't a quick walk, because they had to walk a lot of miles and days and sometimes months to get to where they had to be. I'm sure it wasn't easy for any one of them in Lot's family to just keep looking forward, because they might have felt comfortable where they were. They might have felt, oh, I'm losing my friends, or I was complacent, or I had this job, or I was doing this. I knitted these baskets that I really received a lot of money for. Man, and now I got to walk away from it all. I just prepared our home. I set the house up, all these things. I got the cars going on. You know how we think. We got all this stuff. And oh my gosh, I just landed this great career. And then God said, get up and go. And you're like, what? And I'm just putting myself in their situation and just thinking like, man, it's a constant walking from their past. So it's always present. If you really think about it, our past is always the present. It's always it's going to be there. God didn't say, oh, I'm gonna eliminate it so that you don't see it no more. No, God said, walk away. Don't look back. Eventually, God did destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, but guess what? God didn't just quickly pick them all up and put them in the place that he promised them. He wanted them to walk away. He wanted them to make a decision. He wanted them to make a choice right then and there. Do you want what I have for you? Even if you don't even know what I have for you? Or do you want to just sit where you are? Stay where you are. Dwell on the past as if it's the present. And we tend to do that, don't we? We tend to talk about the past as if it's right now. And I know for me, sometimes when people talk to me and they're telling me something, I say, was that now? And it's like, no, it was back in 1925 or 2007. And I'm looking like, you're talking as if it happened just now. And it's like, no, it happened like 15 years ago. And my mind is like, wow, you're holding on to stuff 15 years ago. That's how present our past is. But however, let me get back to the story, because this is so good. So as they're walking, everyone forward, focused, straight ahead. They're probably all thinking, man, we finally get to enjoy life. We probably don't have to struggle no more. Oh my gosh, God is taking us into this beautiful place. Oh my gosh, we have everything we need. We have food. We have safety. We can sleep now without trying to sleep with our eyes open, because everything is going crazy where we were. Oh my gosh. And so everybody's walking straight, except for Lot's wife. She turns and looked back. And the moment she looked back, it stopped her life for eternity. She's stuck, unmovable, can't be moved. She became a pillar of salt. And I don't know if you realize that once, when salt gets wet, it's like, it's hard. It just automatically becomes hard. That's what it was. It was boom. She was done. Stuck right there. Couldn't move. Didn't move. Remembered forever. Think about it. This is like over 2,000 years ago. We still remember the example that she gave us. She's forever in her past. She can't get out of it. She's stuck. She's forever looking. Because I believe when she turned, her eyes was stuck right then and looking at that place burning, or just looking at the buildings that may have still been standing there. Guess what? She's right there. Can't move. She just stuck. She chose to look back. Maybe because she was fearful of what she didn't know was ahead of her. Maybe she liked people there and she really didn't want to leave. Maybe she enjoyed the whole chaos in their world. Some people do that. Some people enjoy chaos. Honestly, some people they'd rather have drama than to realize they don't have to have drama. And they'll be in their past and they'll be in their situation over and over. Every morning they'll talk about it, they'll live it, they'll breathe it, they'll eat it every moment, every day, all day long, all week, every month, every year. They say the same thing. They talk about the same thing as if it happened just that moment. She's stuck. Forever not experiencing her future. Her own family has gone on. They gone on into the promised land that God promised them, into the land that God has prepared for them. God even said that they had so much stuff, so much blessing. He blessed them abundantly to where Abraham and Lot, they couldn't even contain their cattle and their families, because it just increased and multiplied. To where they had to separate. One had to go on one side of the town, the city, the country, the state, and one lot had to go on another side. They had to pick which side to go on because they had so much. God blessed them with so much of the new, so much of good things, so much of better things, that they got to see the goodness of the Lord. And there's a scripture that just came to me when David said, Lord, my heart would have fainted if I didn't see your goodness. And sometimes we think like that. Sometimes we experience that. Sometimes our heart begins to faint when we don't see God's goodness, when we don't see God's promise come to pass. But you know what? They experienced it, but Lot's wife didn't. You ever wondered why God didn't even mention her name? She don't even have a name. He said Lot's wife. That's it. You got Abraham, you got Sarah, But nothing about her. Only that she looked back. Only that she wasn't obedient. Only that she was stuck in her past. And that's all she knows. That's all she can relate to. That's all she can identify with is her past. She has nothing to say about her future. What if she didn't look back and she kept going? She would have been able to enjoy the blessings, not only what God has given her, but to see her family be blessed, her family increase. The relationship with her and her husband probably would have gotten better. Who would have known? In our lives, we're always faced with a choice. We have to be obedient to what God is telling us in every area of our life. And we can't say, but then we're going to look at saying, what if I didn't get married and I stayed single, and man, I wouldn't have had all of this chaos, or I wouldn't have to deal with this. And you're just stuck. Or if I would have stayed single, whatever the reason is, then I wouldn't have all this stuff. I wouldn't have to answer anybody. I would still be on my own. Instead of looking at the blessings in our life. She is forever stuck. And I don't know if she really thought that by her turning back, that if anything would have been done to her, maybe she just thought, okay, well, then maybe that was her attitude. Maybe her attitude was, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care what my husband going to tell me. I don't care what God going to say. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm woman and I'm grown. You know how we get. We get like that. It's my life. God ain't going to tell me what to do, where to go. But look what happened. The family walked into a blessing. Abraham was blessed because he was obedient and he went and got his brother out and his family. His brother Lot, his family, his children were blessed and increased in abundance. They're sitting back, drinking lemonade, laughing, having fun. And I'm sure they missed their wife and he missed his wife and they missed their mother. But look what happens when you're stuck in your past. You forfeit every good, abundant blessings that God has for you because you're so stuck in the past because you're fearful of the unknown. God didn't say, come on out, Abraham, and I'm going to take you to A1A. And you're going to go down the A1A street and you're going to hit Cocoa Beach. And once you get to Cocoa Beach, I'm going to put you in Vieira in this big old land or whatever the case may be. He didn't go and give Abraham instant directions on where to go. This is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to do for you. This is how I'm going to do it. God didn't give Abraham anything but to say, go get your brother and move out. And the Bible said Abraham did it. He went and got his brother. He moved out. He said, and I'm going to show you where you're going to reside, where you're going to live, what I'm going to do for you. And Abraham trusted God that much that he just got his stuff. He said, okay, God, I'm gone. I'm going to go get my brother and we're going to roll on out and we're going to see what you got for us because it got to be good. Because if you bringing us out of all this craziness in our life, it got to be good for us. So I'm all for it. And he moved on. Think about the times when you're constantly in the rut of the past. Because we all, the past always come up to us. Because it's there. But we don't have to live in it. We don't have to walk in it. We don't have to always talk in it. And it hinders us from moving forward. It hinders us from receiving and acquiring every good thing God has. Because the Bible tells us that God said himself, he said that every good and perfect gift comes from above. Every good. God gives good and perfect gifts. Even in my own life, I can see the increase in my life. I can honestly tell you as a witness, when I gave my life to the Lord at the age of 18, God has increased my life. I am better now than I were when I was 18 years old, when I was 5 years old, 9 years old. I have seen the increase in my life. God never allow you to move away from something and just leave you and decrease you. He's always about increase. He's always looking to bless. He's always looking to do more for you. He's always ready to give you better. That's why I always tell people who talking to me about their past. That's like, move out of your past. That was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago. God has blessed you now with a new job, a new family, a new career. Look at what you have. And I'm sure it's more than what you had. And keep moving to what God has in store for you continually. Lot's wife will always go down in history in being stuck. People use her example all the time. The what ifs. What if I didn't? What if I didn't leave Sodom? Well, I don't want to leave Sodom. Well, if I go with my husband, who say that God is going to do what he promised. If my husband want to go to mission field. Oh my gosh. If I go to him, I don't know. What if I go to him and it don't work out? I'm leaving a really good job. Oh my gosh. And so we stay where we are. We never move forward. We never accomplish what God has accomplished and put in us to do. And I believe that Abraham shown what happens when we're obedient to the Lord, when God asks us to do something and we're doing it. I believe that Lot showed us that, hey, that God is mindful of where we are in life, no matter where our situation is, no matter where our geographical area is. He's constantly seeing. He's constantly aware. I don't believe that, even in the story, I don't believe that God just overlooked them. Because even Abraham prayed. He said, God, if there's one righteous person in that city, will you save it? God said, yeah, if there's one righteous, I will. And that just tells you there was none righteous in that city. And God told Abraham, go get your brother. Get him out of there. So that let me know that no matter where we are in life, no matter our background, no matter our environment, no matter our cultural belief, our race, no matter anything, God sees us. And if we'll be willing, he want to bless us. He want to do more for us than we could have ever imagined being done for ourselves. We could ever imagine anything could be done for ourselves. God does it miraculously. Unexpectedly. And it just takes moving forward. This reminds me of the time when I moved to Florida, 2006. I was in Virginia since I was born, forever. And my dad was very ill. And I heard my dad was passing away. He was dying. And immediately I just said, Lord, I want to go be with my dad. So I packed up everything and I was on the road headed to Florida. And during that time, my dad did come out of it. So he lived another year or so. But when I left Virginia, and I don't know if God just wiped it out or what, I never thought to go back. I never said, man, Lord, what if I would have stayed in Virginia? I never had that thought. But my thought was, God, what if I never moved to Florida? And I seen by me moving to Florida, being where my dad was, God has tremendously blessed me. Not only did he allow me to be with my father in his last days, but he blessed me materially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Not only did he bless me, but guess what? He blessed my children. Because when my children moved here, God increased their life. And I can look back and like, wow. And it reminded me of Abraham when God said, go. And God didn't bless Abraham when he went. He said, I'm going to bless everybody who goes with you. That's awesome to know that God ain't leaving no one out of his blessings. It's all about if we want it or not. It's all about, are we going to do what God tell us to do? Or are we going to hold on to what we want to do? Because we feel like we got it all, or we know it all because, with God, this is my life. I'm the one working here. I'm the one getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, going back home at 10 o'clock at night. I'm the one. But yet, he's actually the one that's giving you the energy, the life to do all of that. I am a living witness of how God increased. Even with the jobs that I've had, I gave up one job and not knowing how I'm going to get another one. And God gave me a better job, getting more money, more benefits, in a better position than I had starting out. Be encouraged this week. Be encouraged for your life to know that you can live a life that God and Jesus has already purchased for us. We can live our life in abundance. Jesus said, I have given you life and that more abundantly. Our life is so full of possibilities. Our life is so full of abundance. If we choose to let go of our past and walk in the future, walk in our now, forget about the what ifs to what now, God, am I to do? What now are you directing me to do? Where you want me to go? Who you want me to see? And God will put you in places that you never thought of. He'll bring people to you you never met. He'll provide resources to you that you didn't even think that was available, because he owned it all anyway. And I believe also, when I think about Lot's wife, I believe that she didn't really trust what God said. Because you got to think about it. In order for you to get up and move forward in life, in order for you to get up from where you are, you have to trust what God is saying to you. You have to trust what someone's telling you. Is what they're telling you is really bona fide to you? Or do you feel like, no, I'm not going to believe them because, oh, no, they don't trust me? Because you think about it. Anything that we do, any relationship we're in, is built on trust. Because if you don't trust the person, how can you have a relationship? There is no way you can have a relationship with anybody, whether it's your boss or whatever, your mate. How can you have a relationship if you don't trust them? You have to trust them, knowing that they are going to do what they say and that they have your back. And not only that, I've seen their history and I believe what they're saying because I've seen them be honest and do what they need to do and say what they need to say. So I trust them. I believe she didn't trust God. Because if she would have trusted the Lord, she would have been with the family, enjoying the abundance of life, the abundance of being able to laugh. Sometimes in our life, we're so caught up in our past that it's a struggle to even laugh because we see life as hum and drum. We look more to our failures than to our victories. We look more to what we don't have to what we do have. We look more to what someone else is doing rather than what we need to be doing. God is so good. He is so wonderful. He is such a loving, caring father. Because if you think about it, as a parent wants to give their children the best. The Bible tells us if we as parents on the earth want to give our kids the best, he said, how much more do I want to give my children? He said, if you ask me for food, I'm not going to give you a stone. I'm not going to give you something you don't need. I'm not going to give you the opposite. Why would I do that? I'm going to give you exactly what you asked, but guess what? I'm going to do it even better because I know what's best for you. I know where I'm taking you. I know what I'm doing in your life. And all you have to do is trust and obey and move on and don't look back. Be encouraged today. Be strengthened today. Make a choice, a decision today to not look back. Don't allow your past to keep you stuck from the blessing and the future that God has for you. You've listened to Live with Necee, live here in Merritt Island. I want to thank you so much for tuning in with me today, and God bless you.